So much pain and love. So much. So I go to this. Let's see. What's up, Hemis? What's going on? We're going to get started in a second. Just waiting for people to come on. Bida-do, bida-do, bida-do-do-do. What's up? 1 second. Hey, everybody. What's up? 1 second. I'm just typing out the details here. We're going to get started. I'll give a couple minutes for everyone to get in here. Love you too. Love you too. This is for social needs. I'm doing good. How are you guys doing? Giving everybody a chance to get in here for like a couple minutes, and then we'll get after it. Thanks for hanging out with me. Because I don't have friends. Because I don't have friends. All right. At the 5-minute mark, I'm going to start answering questions. So think about the questions you want to ask. And let me know if the music is too loud in the background. If so, that's fine. Trying to like figure out the best way to position this camera. I've never done this before, so we'll see. But I do have a list of questions here. My hair is on point. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's see how. What's going on with you? What's going on with you? What's going on with you? Gonna wait till like the 5-minute mark. Then we'll get started. God. Friggin' Instagram notifications are so annoying. Like I'm trying to attach a link. This is why. Hope everyone's having a great night. Taking it easy, just hanging. We're just gonna hang out for about an hour or so. And if I can answer any questions, mental health questions, I'm here for thee. I'm here for thy. And we're going to go from there. Have I requested to get verified on Instagram? Yeah, but they won't verify me. I don't know why. It's not working. I know Toronto fucks with me hard. Body karates. Six. Is this music too loud? Helps me calm down. Okay. All right. So let's get into the questions here. All right. Let's go. Let's see. This question is from Mousy to Mouthy. Have you always been a caretaker mentor? It definitely fits. Yeah, kind of. I worked with young kids when I was little. I coached kids in sports, and it was kind of something always that kind of came kind of natural to me. But after, like I started doing like social media and stuff, like it wasn't really like fan friendly content, and by fan friendly I mean like children friendly. But for me, it just became something that I definitely felt like I was a natural at, but I needed to like learn some of the skills to get myself to be better at it, and also like lead by example more, because I would say a lot of things, but not to, almost to be braggadocious, not to be like, this is the way you should do something. This is the smart way for you to do something. So that's where I kind of ran into trouble. But I think I've changed since then, being able to like live off experience a little bit. I'm going to try and keep up with the chat here. But yeah, I've always felt like I had some kind of influence. Here's this guy yelling outside of my building. Have I watched the Harry and Meghan interview? Yeah, I did. I mean, I tried not to. I don't know. That's just a weird world to live in, it makes me sad that she was suicidal over it, But I don't know. I can't relate to that world. I can't relate to the mental health stuff. I can relate to, but like not having the Queen like give me security, like I can't. I sometimes struggle with anxiety, but I usually brush it off as stress from school. But I'm worried it might bite me in the ass later. What do you think? In terms of that, I think you should probably take the proper steps. And listen, let me start this off by saying, like, I am in no way a mental health professional. Like, I just deal with the shit that I deal with. But for me, I don't think you really need to brush it off as stress. I think it's something that you kind of have to understand and to kind of face head on. For me, it was always hard. Like last night, I had like some of the worst panic attacks I've had in like 2 years. I don't know why. I don't know what triggered them, but I kind of was trying to write them off on like health issues. I thought I was having like health issues. I thought maybe it was COVID. Like I was having a hard time breathing, but I went and got tested today and I'm negative, which is nice. But it's one of those things that if you don't really realize what it is that's happening with you right now, it's very, very difficult to get to the root of the problem. That's what you need to do and figure out what are these things that are stressing you out. Especially with COVID now too, like everyone's so stressed out, like people are just hiding in their homes and shit, which like a part of me, like I'm an extrovert. I'm an extroverted introvert. So like I like to go outside, but like I don't mind just sitting inside all day, just fucking watching The Sopranos. You know what I mean? So there's stress levels. You have to find out where they're coming from. You should address them, but don't address them to the point where you think that it's just it's a negative. You kind of have to find a positive way to look at it because it's very dark. Mental health is very dark. It's a very dark taboo issue that we're trying to bring and shed more light on, but it gets a little more difficult as time goes on because everyone's struggle is kind of different. You know what I mean? Any specific songs that have helped you get through tough times? I listen to a lot of like what I'm listening to now, like hip hop, lo-fi, a lot of like meditation music that helps me a lot. And it also like keeps me in a certain space for not to get to that point where like I start to lose like grip. But like last night, man, my panic attacks were so bad that it was really difficult for me to deal with. But I had to like kind of figure out what was the best thing for me to deal with it. And meditation music and lo-fi music helped me out a lot. Here we go. Have you ever noticed any of the scary stats regarding mental health for certain populations? Yeah, for sure. I mean, we posted something that 92% of African American males don't seek treatment for their mental health. Mental health is also on a spectrum when it comes to class and and race. It's something that it's easier for the higher class to get treatment. Also, it's stigma. The stigma is different in different classes, so it's something that each community deals with differently. So the main goal would be to eliminate the stigmas of mental health so it could spread throughout those different types of systems, but everyone goes through their mental health differently, but you could tell just by looking at stats what race, what sex, what ethnicity struggle more with mental health. And a lot of it has to do with their upbringing and their backgrounds. So it's very difficult for a lot of different, like Western culture. We've gotten kind of a better grasp on mental health, but the stigmas are still there. If you go to, Eastern culture, it's very stigmatized and it's very difficult for people to, actually confront their mental health and have the proper network set up. So a lot of those studies that I've seen, they're sad. It's tough to see. Okay. How do you cope with things like being overwhelmed with anxiety? Again, it's like learning coping mechanisms, a lot of breathing techniques, a lot of grounding techniques. For me, like I have many issues with actually being able to realize that there's not something going wrong with me health-wise. Like I always think I'm having a heart attack, or I always think I'm having a stroke. And if I'm not having a stroke, then I'm having an aneurysm. Like these are all things that are going through my head like at one time, and it's a fucking bummer. It sucks, dude. So like I tweeted the other day that like health anxiety is the worst, which I really do think it is. I really do think that health anxiety is the worst anxiety because it drives me fucking bananas. Because my thing, I don't go immediately like I'm having a panic attack. I go immediately to having a heart attack, which is like it's a shitty cycle to like keep going through. And like I said last night with the ones that I was having last night, I couldn't breathe. I'm asthmatic, so like I felt like I couldn't breathe. So I'm like, oh, I have COVID now. Like I'm gonna fucking die here. This is it for me. It's over. But I was actually able to, it got so bad because it was so long. It was like a 12-hour panic attack, and every time I would fall asleep, I would have like night terrors and wake up and be like super anxious and like couldn't breathe, like scrambling for my inhaler. That I had to go get checked out by a doctor and make sure I was okay because I was fucking freaking out. It's a good question. What athlete has helped you with your mental health? There's been a couple actually. I like what Kevin Love's doing. He's really helping because, like, hearing that story, he was playing a game for the Cleveland Cavs, and he had to leave because he was having a panic attack. And like when he got into the locker room, Kevin Love is white. The most and the best players are predominantly African American males, and they kind of got on him for it, for being like, dude, you got to like play through that. And you could see just right there's like a cultural divide on like how to deal with that type of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm sure Kevin Love's upbringing was not the same as Isaiah Thomas's or LeBron's at the time. So to see that kind of take a life of its own, and he's very into it now. It's like pretty inspirational. Another one too is I think somebody said it is Michael Phelps. Michael Phelps, you see, like, he went through his whole thing, got a DUI. There was substance abuse issues there. He had to face a lot of stuff. And, you got to remember, he was like the biggest athlete in the world at one point for a sport that sucks. I swam. So, like, listen, like, that sport sucks. So, like, he was so famous for being like this all-American Olympian dude. And he had a lot of issues. So it was like he's very inspirational too. Also, he's a savage of an athlete. Does your dog help with your anxiety? 100%. Last night I was having like tremors and stuff, and he could tell. And he kind of just laid on me and kind of chilled with me, took care of me. And it's weird how animals just kind of know what's going on. Like I've always heard, like, when the tsunami hit, and I'm not comparing this because, like, obviously the tsunami was natural disaster, but all the animals like left before it came. Like, animals can sense things. They can really sense like when like stuff is off or different, and he could. And that's one of the main reasons why I got him, because I just knew I needed a buddy in the trenches at 2 a.m. And my girlfriend's fantastic with it too. Like, she's learning. I would say she's learning more about her own mental health too by like dealing with mine. Like people with panic disorder and bipolar disorder, it's very difficult for their loved ones to deal with. Like, we're not easy people to deal with. We're very irritable. We're very in a way we are selfish, because it's like, oh no, like I can't do this because of my whatever, because of me. And they have to kind of adapt to that. And that's what like finding an ideal partner is. Like, I know like a lot of people don't have the luxury of having a partner, but having a partner that struggles with something, it makes that relationship so much stronger, but it also makes the relationship harder to deal with, because it's like, dude, like I have to deal with this guy, being scared all the time. I find myself being afraid of like mostly health anxiety, but between my dog and my girl, like, it's a nice support system to have when I don't have my therapist available to me. You said you use the Calm app, right? Yeah, I use the Calm app. They're not a sponsor or anything, but I wish they were, because then I would get it for free. But the Calm app really helps me out because they have like a lot of like specific dialed in talk downs, but also just like calming sounds of the ocean, calming sounds of rain. It's like they have a little bit of everything for everyone. So it really depends on like what kind of feeling I'm going through. Helps. But yeah, man. And people got to know, like, I'm the first person to say, like, dating me is not easy. I'm very neurotic about a lot of things. You know, I kind of have to have the day set around like what I'm feeling during the day, and that's a lot to deal with, like from a partner. But she understands as much as I can, and I have to realize I have to understand what she's going through too. We're stressful people to be around, but we love hard. Has there ever been a celebrity interview moment that stuck with you having to do with mental health? Yeah. When Dave Chappelle was on Inside the Actors Studio, and he was saying about the word crazy, how people just like to write people off as crazy. And, he was just at the end of it, he's like, maybe his environment is just a little sick. That's another thing, too. People don't understand people's environments. Like when we were talking about that 92% of African American males don't seek treatment and or really know that they're struggling with mental health is because the environment of their environment. We all know of the injustice that African Americans face in this country, and that's just the fact. There's Silvio making his cameo. He's gonna go lay in his bed. Look, let's see if he'll perform for you. Sil. But yeah, a lot of it's your environment. So when I heard him say that, I felt very people like to write people off as crazy because sometimes motherfuckers be acting crazy. Like it just looks crazy. And I think a lot of that's coming too with like Kanye West, and it's like some things he says are just like outrageous. But you can obviously look at that guy and be like, there's something seriously going on there that's like strange, you know? And it's like, I'm also on the side of just because people who suffer with panic disorder or bipolar, like it doesn't really give us an opportunity or a pass to be like an asshole, you know? I think a lot of us can fall back on like, well, like, I struggle with this, so I'm a dick like that. It's not something that really needs to be so like hand in hand. Like, does it make us a dick sometimes? Yeah, it does. But you can't be surprised that, his wife left him because he said some wild shit. And that's a crazy situation. But, also being married to a Kardashian would probably drive you crazy too. Emily J, how do you deal with not loving the way your body looks? I've been so negative about the way my skin and body look as a female. It's hard to look and feel beautiful. Well, here's the thing. I think women and men have a completely different social status that they have to meet in terms of looks, right? Like before, like Ashley Graham, right? Like no one was really talking about like plus size models like that, right? And then you have people when she's on Sports Illustrated covers and people are saying like, oh, this is promoting like an unhealthy lifestyle. So you have like both sides complaining about this is sexy and shouldn't be judged. And then you have people like on a medical side that are being like, well, she's unhealthy, she shouldn't look like that, whatever. Women have to face a completely different and tougher social status on what it is, what beautiful is, for me as a man, I think it's been easier for me to be like, I think it's easier for straight women to find bigger dudes attractive than it is for vice versa. It's different. But women have to have that social class because I feel like women want to look better for other women, not just men, really. Like they want to fit into this social norm that like they have to be skinny and this is what their boobs should look like and this is what their ass should look like. Like guys, like we just have to worry about like, you know, not dying. You know, it's a different type of thing. Let's see. I'm trying to get everyone there because while I'm talking, a bunch come in. So I just want to thank all the homies for being in here. Let's see. Have I ever thought about interviewing fans with their mental health journeys? Yeah, of course I have. And like through the off the cuff Patreon, I've had a couple set up, but some people have backed out because I think they have a hard time grasping that like they're going to tell their story, which is, listen, it's totally fine. Like, it's something that's not really easy to talk about still. And I get it. It's not the easiest thing to come out and like bare your soul, but some people are willing to. I just have had bad luck. I've had 3 people lined up and they've like kind of canceled like in the last minute, and that's okay. If you're in here, you don't have to say that. You know, it's okay. I get it. I've canceled things because I've been anxious. I've done it too. But I would love to have fans on the show because when I first started off the cuff, it was going to be with like celebrities and stuff, and like it's cool to like interview people that are successful. It's very inspiring, you know. But like I want to talk to people that are down bad like right now, because I think that shows more of an everyman or an everywoman or of what, you know, whether you're trans, whether you're straight, whether you're non-binary, like everyone's dealing with mental health on a whole. Everybody's mental health is different. A lot of it's the same, but people have different things, different little intangibles that make it like, I don't want to say authentic, but like it's authentic to them because it's their truth. You know what I mean? So yes, 100%. And if you want to like join it's the Patreon's patreon.com/OTC pod. And, you know, I have to just go through there because they're financial backers of the show. So they get first dibs on doing it. Have you ever thought about making a mental health Discord chat? Yeah. So we're launching one for Off the Cuff. You know, we've just been doing a lot with, we were supposed to release our episode on Monday, but we had a COVID scare with one of the people who we were going to be shooting with. So we had to backtrack that episode, which is why one didn't come out on Monday. That's why we're like doing a live Q&A. I didn't want to cancel something for the whole week because I feel like that's not fair to the fans of the show, you know? And it was something that kind of, I wanted to try something new with like a live Q&A because I feel having people being able to just come in and write what they want to talk to, it's fun, and it also speaks to the show off the cuff. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. Kind of go hand in hand. I don't like to leave people out when they're expecting something. Consistency is kind of a big thing for me these days. Also, I would be very anxious throughout the week knowing that something didn't come out. Because we help a lot of people with this show. How has COVID affected your health, mental health, negatively? Negatively, you know, I've put on some weight a little bit just because it's just like, you know, you're bored and food's awesome. I love it. I love food. But you know, I'm working on that, and it's also kind of made me like kind of like a douche, like an asshole. Like my temper is very short, much shorter, and I'm not like I'm not a confrontational person. Like I'm not a tough guy. I've never claimed to be. I'm just not. You know, I'll get down if I got to, but I've never started a fight in my life. Like I'm not gonna do that. But my fuse has been like super short. Like it's caused me to just like fucking freak out, like on strangers. And like I talked about on the LoPriore podcast, like some dude in the elevator got on before I was able to get off, and like I wanted to rip his face off. It's never happened to me. Were there any teachers that helped you with your mental health? Yes, I had a teacher named Mr. Smith, Mr. Greg Smith at the lovely Hastings High School, who was actually pretty progressive when it came to terms of like mental health. He actually had a class formation where kids who are struggling with their mental health and or their home lives, we were able to get classes with smaller amounts of students in them so we could get more one-on-one time with teachers. It was called the HAS program. It was the Hastings Alternative Schooling Program, I believe. Or it was alternate, one or the other. But yeah, for to have kind of that foundation in a school where people were helping me get to where I needed to be, especially in terms of on pace for graduation, it helped a lot to have smaller classrooms because it's easy. A lot of kids don't speak out in big classrooms because they don't want to sound dumb, you know? But it was kind of like a camaraderie, like knowing like, hey, like, you know, we all kind of struggle with certain things. So it became like a family concept and like we all like kind of stuck up for each other and took care of each other. We were a fucking wild group though. Like that entire group, like we were fucking wild. Like he used to take us on field trips and we were fucking insane. We would do some wild shit. Have you ever had a panic attack while at work? Yeah, one time. I've had many at work, but one time we were filming the basement yard and we were talking and I was just talking to Joe and then I got like this fizzle, like someone poured ginger ale all over my brain and Joe could see it like on my face and I was kind of like, you know, when I have real bad panic attacks, I can't focus on one thing. I have to scan the room like this all the time, just scanning the room. And I'm looking around. I can't focus because I'm fucking freaking out. And he noticed it, and we actually had to stop recording it. And like I just like broke down, like started crying, like I was having such a bad panic attacks at that time. But yeah, I remember that one. I was like, yo, dude, like let's just record. I need a little bit of time to like get through it. And then we ended up recording and talking about it on the show. But I was having so many at work that I had to go to inpatient because I had no idea how to deal with them, you know? Dude, waking up every day and thinking you're dying is like one of the worst. It's the worst thing in the world, especially when you're not dying. It's like, dude, what is wrong with my brain? Is there anything you do to help with addiction that you would suggest to others? Just finding ways to realize that you don't need these substances. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, was it fun sometimes? Yeah, it was fucking fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like partying is fun. That's why they call it partying. But it was always the post partying that was a big thing for me. That's where I would be the most depressed and like the most fucking anxious and panicky because like now it's like the facade's gone, the party's over. I'm coming down now. I'm laying in my room. It's 5:00 in the morning. Like my parents are gonna wake up in an hour, and I'm just fucking sitting here like a fucking loser. You know, you start to have all of these intrusive thoughts about like, dude, like, what did I do tonight? Like I went out and like did white and did what? Nothing. Now I have to go home and lie to a bunch of people about what I did last night. You know what I mean? And another thing too is like addicts, they cling to each other and addicts support other addicts by saying like, yo, it's not that bad. Like he does more than you do. Like, you know, like people are doing it worse. Like addicts find ways to, we find ways to like supplement either other things into our lives or compare ourselves to other addicts who are like doing worse than us. So like we're okay. It's just not the truth, you know? No one lies to themselves more than an addict. That's just what it is. Do you think money is a factor in your mental state? Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, when I was first going through like my mental health stuff, I didn't have a lot of money, so it was just like one more thing because the world doesn't care. Let's just be honest, you know? Like I could be having all the panic attacks in the world, like I will get fired. I can't go to my office and be like, "Hey guys, like I'm having so many panic attacks. I can't work. I think like I want to hurt myself." They're going to be like, "Dude, that sucks. I go get treatment, but like we need somebody else to run the social media account." You know? It's just like kind of how the world works. It's fucking sad, but it is. You know? When you have money, obviously it's easier to deal with because you can afford healthcare. You can afford, better doctors. And not saying that some doctors are bad, but there's better doctors out there, and they know it too, and they cost more. It's a very weird thing because not having universal healthcare in America has become like, it's something that makes a lot of people end up in programs maybe they shouldn't be in, but in the moment, that's the program that they can afford. Because when I went and found like my therapist, I went through like 7 therapists. That's very discouraging. Being like, dude, I can't have a conversation with this woman or this guy, or it's just not working. This doctor's just not working for me. So like, but I was able to have the finances, thank God, to have those opportunities to go see that, and this network of people that were willing to help me get the help that I needed. You know what I mean? It was something that I really had to deal with and reach out to other people for help. It's very sad that people can't get the help that they need when they need it, and the main reason being I can't afford it. It's terrible. Do you do well in social situations because of your internet presence, or bad because of your anxiety? I've never, and I think if you were to speak to anyone that I ever met that was a fan of mine, I've never been a dick to a fan ever, and I've never not stopped to like take a picture with a fan or someone who's taking time out of their day to like say what's up to me or whatever, because in those moments I kind of forget that I have anxiety. I really do. When I'm performing, I forget that I have these issues because my mind is focused somewhere else. A lot of it's like being able to focus on other things that actually help you realize that get out of that vicious cycle, because anxiety and panic is a very vicious cycle. So like you have the trigger, right? Like if you have like the tingling hand, then it becomes the intrusive thoughts, and then the panic cycle starts, and now you're just panicking. It just keeps going like this. So I always told myself too, if someone's going to take time out of their day to come out of their shell and ask me for a picture, I'm going to take a picture with that person. I'm going to say hello to that person. Like if they're like, oh my God, my mom's a big fan, can I call her on the phone? I'll be like, call your mom, And, I've been lucky that pretty much all of my fan interactions have been good. Like am I the biggest fan of like when people are like, yo, like, can you like sing Let Me Suck Your Titties right now? And I'm just kind of like, yo, like I'm with my mom. Like I'd rather not, but but I try to do the best that I can. But I don't really get anxious around fans. I think fans are actually a very big positive for what I go through. This isn't a question, but you've helped me so goddamn much with my mental health. You've opened my eyes to other ways to look at a bad situation. That's what we're just trying to do here. I even said with the guys over at 1-on-1, I was like, if we save one person's life with the show and the entire existence, that's what we set out to do. And, people just need to know that they're not alone. Everyone deserves to be loved, especially good people. It's just the truth. Hey, bro, can you touch on escapism over the past year? I've realized most things I do is to get away from everyday shit, whether it be weed or games, etc. I don't know if it's healthy or not. Appreciate it. Escapism is one of those things where, you know, anything can be escapism, but some of these things can be stress relievers. Like my brother struggles from bad anxiety, but he plays video games to get over it and deal with it. There's nothing really wrong with that. The only time there's something wrong with it is if you're supplementing with either drugs or alcohol to get away from those things. Now it's a problem. Now it's something that you're not dealing with excuse me, that you're not dealing with the right way. So it's causing you to, form bad habits. You don't want to form bad habits. If you go to work every day and you're handling your business and you want to come home and play Call of Duty because you're stressed out, fucking play Call of Duty, bro. You earned it. If you're feeling anxious and a certain TV show makes you feel better, do it. Or if a certain podcast makes you feel better, do it. Just don't supplement it with bad shit. When you supplement it with bad shit, then now it's just a part of the cycle. How will you decide your fans to interview? Just ones that want to be open and come on the show and talk. That's really it. I always just ask if you're going to be on the show, just be fully authentic. Nobody wants to waste anybody's time. And I'm just here to listen to you and ask you questions and answer any questions that you have. But if you go to the Patreon and sign up, patreon.com/OTC pod, you can sign up, and any tier is able to come on the show. Like I said, I've had some people bow out because they're not used to this arena or this world, which I get, But it's like something you gotta like. I want you to go for it. Any tips on finding motivation, especially with school being tough sometimes? I always say like the best inspirations come like from within yourself. So whatever those things that, whether it be art or reading or, you have to find ways to inspire yourself, because like even like going online and like getting inspired by people, like those people don't know you, like I'm here talking to you guys and like I don't know exactly what you deal with. All I know is what I deal with. A lot of it is what we have to you have to get yourself to be an inspiration to yourself. That's what helps. But a lot of things that I like to look at again is like I like to see people that are dealing with the same shit as me, so that helps. That motivates me to see people that are successful, that are outspoken and deal with what I deal with. Let's see. I want to make sure I didn't leave anyone. I also this social media help or tarnish your mental state this is a new one. Does social media help or tarnish your mental state in a panic attack? It definitely doesn't help. Because social media is bullshit. Like I could post a picture and like a cool shirt and like a nice watch on and whatever, but like I'm still dealing with shit I got to deal with. You know what I mean? It's Instagram is everyone's perfect life. Everyone just lives an amazing, perfect life. Nobody has any problems on Instagram. So if you're going through something, social media is probably not the safest place for you to be because it's bullshit. If I didn't need social media for work, I would not have social media at all. It's just the truth. I don't want it. If I could delete Instagram right now, I just want to get so big that like my Instagram doesn't matter and I could just hire some like intern to take care of it. But, because I've fallen into like the traps of being like, yo, I have to have like the drippiest pictures. Like I have to be super swagged out, like all these pictures. But then it's just like, yo, bro, like, do you really? I don't want to become a shell of myself that just like I'm on the internet, you know? Bro, I'm in school now, and the only thing keeping me motivated is the image of me in a couple of years when I graduate. You know, but I get it. It's tough at all times. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a college dropout, so I can't relate, but you just got to keep yourself going in that right direction. As long as it's something you want to do with the rest of your life, something you really want to do for the rest of your life. Life is long, bro, so you really have to think about it. If this is something you really want to do for the rest of your life, God bless you, bro. It's gonna get, you know, tough. But school's tough. School's annoying. Everybody hates fucking schools. And if you're one of those people that love school, I hate you. What about trying to sleep, though? What's the best way to not think about all those dumb thoughts, all these things you hate about yourself? Sleep is a tough one. You know, I still have trouble sleeping at nights. I was having like night attacks last night. So I would fall asleep and wake up and be in a full-blown panic attack, which was like, I haven't had one of those in like 2 years. It's terrible. It's scary as shit. But, you know, for some reason, I've just gotten to this point where, like, you know, if I die, I die. You know, panic hasn't killed me yet. Like, I'll know when I'm dying now, for sure. It's just the mindset state that helps me, because if I start like thinking about all these bad things, I'll never fucking sleep, bro. And I love look at this. Look at me. I love sleeping. Sleeping is one of my favorite things to do on this planet. Yeah, you know, like people will say, like, you know, I'm glad you're open with your struggles. It helps all of us, and that's all I'm really trying to do. It's like, you know, for me, like when I was just doing off the cuff, like single-handedly just doing this show, it was something that I realized at some point, you know, I needed some kind of comedy in my life, because comedy is an expression for me. So it helps me, you know, deal with certain things, because I like to look at things from a comedic side. I think there's a lot of funny things in mental health, especially when it comes to like the common ground of like struggling with others. It shines kind of a light on something that's like very dark. So like joking about anxiety and panic attacks is something that I find to alleviate me sometimes. It kind of makes me, you know, comfortable with what I'm struggling with. And also, like, the thing I've been thinking about too, it's like everyone's so used to like living life with COVID right now, but then at some point we're gonna have to like readjust back to regular life, and that's where you're gonna see a lot of fucking bad shit. You know what I mean? Like, people have been like working from home, and like that's been stressful. But like, imagine like, you know, going back to work all the time in like an office and shit. Like, you're gonna lose your fucking shit. Like, like I just get to wake up in my apartment, hit record, and like hang out with you guys. Like, that's what I do for a living. You know, I go see my brother once a week. We make a show, and that's my life. Like, I don't want to go back to I don't want to go back to regular life. I just don't. Fucking scary to think about, you know. Let's see. That's gonna be a wild, wild, wild thing. Like, people's mental health have gone in the shitter during this thing. It's terrible. Let me see. I want to make sure I didn't leave anybody up top. My boy's hair is on point. Thank you. Loved your Chance the Rapper on God raps with a diabetes glucose meter. Yeah, I remember that. Thank you. I was just searching for the link. Oh, we talked about the royal wedding. We did that. Do you feel as if you have to put on a character when you record? How does that affect you outside of recording? No, I don't think I have to put on a character. I mean, it's kind of like, you have to ramp stuff up. So you're a performer, right? So when you're performing, people want to see a performance. People want to see an expression of yourself, but like jacked up to 100. So, it's tiresome at times, I would say, but my job's fucking easy, yo. Like I'm blessed to have an easy job that's lucrative. Like I see these guys come and pick up garbage out here. Like that's a real fucking job. Like that's stressful. The only stress is like, I have to be funny. Like I have to work sometimes like through panic attacks. So I guess like sometimes I'll be acting in that sense because I'm like having anxiety and panic, but it's helping me get through it. Here we go. I've been struggling with health anxiety for about 5 years. I hear you. And finally decided to seek help. My doctor prescribed Zoloft for me to take daily. I've never been on any medication before. Nervous. Like I said, again, I'm not a mental health professional, but I am on medication. And the medication I'm on, Lexapro, has significantly helped me with depressive thoughts, but also like general anxiety. For sure. And, to each their own. Some people don't like medication, but my medication has never made me like loopy, like made me like, yo, like what's going on? Like, it's kind of helped me readjust back to like a normal life. Especially during a lot of people are trying to find themselves in like their calling kind of right now because they have all this downtime. Like there's been such a boom of artists and creatives, people, because they've had the time to be artists and be creative. I think everyone has a little bit of creativity in them. And, some people, that's when medication came on. I was like, dude, this is gonna kill my creative process. Like I'm gonna be all fucked up. Like when I was a loose cannon, I was like, yeah, dude, like, but like, oh, I was the best in that era. Like I was, but like, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. You have that in you always. What advice do you have for someone going through a long-term peripheral nerve injury, missing working out, playing sports, playing instruments, studying efficiently, and just doing things that I love? That's a tough one. A buddy of mine actually, he was, I don't want to say he was an amazing athlete, but he was like a really good athlete, like when we were kids, right? And we all like went to like this lake house thing. I wasn't there, but like it was a place we've been to before, and like he dove in water that was very shallow and actually ended up like paralyzing himself. He had to relearn how to walk. And he's found like a purpose in life. You know what I mean? He's married now. I think he just had a kid. I haven't spoken to him in a little while, but I think it's just readjusting to life and finding other things that you can be passionate about. Another friend of mine was in a car accident. They said he would never walk again. And his purpose that he found in life, he used to love playing basketball. He used to love doing all these things. And Athletic. He was, you know, a popular kid. You know, he was living a good life. Sweetheart of a guy, still is. Still talk to him. But his purpose in life was, I'm going to walk again. He found a purpose in life, and he is walking again. After doctors told him that he would never walk again. And then they said, when you walk again, you're going to have 2 canes. And now he uses 1 cane when he walks. This is someone who was never supposed to walk again. That's unbelievable. That's more than I've ever accomplished in my life. Think about what you have to deal with like that. At what point is it okay to share what's going on with friends and not have it considered woe is me? I mean, if your friends are not, you know, this is why you have to be able to differentiate your friends. Some friends are great to party with. Some friends are great to struggle with. Some friends are great to not have serious conversations with. And some friends are great to have serious conversations with. Just pick and choose who you open up to, because people, you have to make sure they're the right people to deal with your certain situation. Because a lot of times people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they end up making it about themselves. So just be careful with who you share your stuff with, because some people, they're influential in your life, right? Friends are influential in our lives. It's just what it is. But you have to kind of weigh your options there. And at the end of the day, don't worry about what they're talking about. It's nonsense. You know, and if your friends are always saying that it's woe is me, you're speaking to the wrong friends. I know you're a type A kind of guy, but I find myself more type B. You did the survey on the basement yard. Is there any way to make myself more of a type A kind of dude? Well, what kind of type A traits do you want? You know what I mean? I thought I was type B going into that, but it turned out I'm type A. I thought I was type B. Dreams last so long, even after you're gone. No. I wanted to ask you on live a while ago, will I drink to help me get through my anxiety most of the, well, that's the mistake. People have to understand that alcohol is a depressant, so it makes you feel nice, but then you will feel extremely depressed after. It's just how it works. My question is, how did you actually get off alcohol? Did you do it cold turkey? Yeah, I did it cold turkey, and it was terrible. My entire body almost shot down. I had a fucking nervous breakdown from that shit. You have to be careful with that. I do not recommend stopping alcohol cold turkey. I do recommend stopping alcohol with. It also depends on how much you drink. I would definitely consult your physician and be like, listen, I'm looking to stop alcohol. What's the smartest way to do this? Because you can get sick and get very depressed if you stop at cold turkey. So you have to be careful with that. I want to be more of a workhorse and more independent and stop worrying about these hoes. Being more of a workhorse and more independent, that's truly a mind state that everyone should have. You know, I've struggled with that myself, but I think poverty is a great motivator in terms of being more independent. You know, my parents, God bless them, but they didn't really have like the money to, you know, set me up for life. You know what I mean? There was not much they could do in that department. I've had to pay my own bills since I was, you know, I don't know, 16, 17. They let me live with them, of course, but, you know, my parents kicked me out. And they were just like, dude, you can't live here anymore. So I had to live on my own. And then when our apartment burned down, I asked to move back in with them, and they said no. So I was out on the street, really, which I get. You know what I mean? I was like an alcoholic, and you know, at the time I was drinking heavily, and they just didn't want to see that shit. They were like, "Dude, you got to get your life together." I'm trying to slow down. I drink wine now. I drink a lot of beer. I'll check with a doc. Thanks. Yeah, check with a doctor. Get some blood work done, and see what the best course of action is. But don't quit drinking cold turkey because you can get really sick. People die from that shit, bro. How do you feel about people who fake mental health issues for attention? I really only ran into that situation once, kind of. But like that's very hard to decipher. But the person that I was talking to during the time, I could really realize, like, it was a cry wolf situation. But even that has something to do with mental health, to like conjure up that thing in your head. Like mentally, there's something going on there that needs to be addressed. I can't wait for the mixtape of the intros to come out. Thank you. I had an experience where my mother lost herself in her depression. I remember on the basement yard you talking about an episode where you went out on the street and kind of lost it. How did you recover? I checked myself into a mental health, facility to get checked out. I just couldn't really do it on my own. I needed to set up a network of people that knew what I was doing and needed help. I kind of, as somebody who thought they were a know-it-all, I kind of just had to like fall to my knees, like hat in hand, and be like, I don't know what to do anymore. Please help me. That's what I had to do. Real or fake plant behind you? It is a real plant. As you can see, it is very real, and we're trying to revive it. It kind of had a tough winter, so we're trying to bring it back to its full essence. How do you get someone help when they know they need it but never pursue it? Well, that's the thing. They gotta want to get help, you know. I was with my ex and she really needed help but never let me help her get it, and it was just a shit time for everyone. Well, you trying your best to get that person help is great, but at the end of the day, that person needs to want to get help. I've had a lot of friends who've gone to rehab because their parents wanted them to go, and the first thing they do when they come out is light up a fucking fat blunt and just rip a big ass rail or pop a perk or something. Like I've seen it firsthand of people going away to rehab that don't want to get help. It's just their family can't take it anymore. They come out and they start using again. My dad's an alcoholic. He's old and unhealthy. Wish I could get the old bastard to see a doctor, but not a good affliction. I think, Nick, if you told him how it makes you feel to see that, maybe if you had a real heart-to-heart with him, maybe you have. I'm just saying if you haven't, maybe it's something to be like, listen, this hurts me every day to see you like this, and I'm sure it does. And just be honest with him. If not, do it for him, do it for you. Her parents blame me for why she was depressed, but I tried to get her help. Well, I don't know the ins and outs of your relationship, you know what I mean? But, if you realize, sometimes we have a hard time. I'm not saying this about you, but sometimes we have a hard time really realizing we're part of the problem too. How do you enjoy being in Florida for a bit? Was it a good time? Yes. Because the people down there, like I said, I don't like to use the word crazy loosely, but these fucking people are crazy. Great content. And as much as I make fun of Florida, on shows and stuff, Florida's dope. I had a great time down there. I would have no problem living there again. Thanks for being so honest with us and raw. You're the best. We need more people like you using your platform. Major thing. Yeah, I want to make people laugh, just as much as I can make them, kind of come to terms with what they're dealing with, because I think I have to have a center too, because comedy for me is an outlet. It helps me get over what I'm dealing with. That's why I like to keep my shows fun. I like to keep them loose, because like as soon as it becomes work, I can't do it. I hate it. It just pisses me off. It doesn't make me happy, even though it's something I love doing. But once it becomes like too much work, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. You and your brother have a bond like no other. It's amazing. The love is strong. The podcast make my week. Thank you so much. What is your favorite mental health podcast or show? Off the Cuff with Danny LoPriore. No. I used to watch a lot of TED Talks about mental health, but for some reason I've been turned off the TED Talks because they feel like super corporate and shit, like mad, like a little weird. I try not. This is weird, but I try not to oversaturate myself with too much mental health intake, because I have a very active brain. I just keep thinking of reasons why I'm struggling with something instead of actually trying to find ways to cope with them. But a lot of my mental health insight comes from my doctors and books. I don't listen to too many mental health podcasts. What words would you say to pull someone off the edge? Am I up there with them, or am I down there? No, but when I had feelings of taking my own life, I would just be like, dude, think about how many lives you're going to destroy when you do this. It's a selfish act. It is. A lot of people are going to be destroyed by that. So if I was going to say anything, think of other people. For sure. Yeah, Nick, I hope that works out with your dad, man. Let's see. What else do we have here? Thanks for blessing us tonight. Keep grinding. You're killing it. Thank you so much. Let's see. I'm going to take one or two more. How do you characterize your work-life balance versus the Vine days? Well, during the Vine days, I didn't have any money, so I had to have a regular job still, so it was nice. But then people started not hiring me. I got fired from jobs because of it. So now I can't get work. I didn't have the I wasn't equipped with degrees and stuff to go be a fucking doctor or something. So I was like, listen, dude, I can't get a job anywhere else. I gotta start grinding on this internet shit. And enough people, rock with me and think I'm funny enough to invite me into their homes every week, sometimes every day. And I just found a lane for myself, and I'm doing good, man. I'm surviving. I'm living my life. I'm happy. A lot of things happen, and in a short period of time for us sometimes. And for me, even after Vine went away, I had to go get regular shitty jobs and do real hard work. Real work. Moving companies, the pizza delivery. I did all that shit, man. I did it all. Josh, sup, Danny? I lost my brother a few years back to cancer. I'm sorry to hear that, man. And I've coped by trying not to think about it to avoid the pain, but I feel like I've become numb and emotionally. Better coping mechanisms. If you look up cognitive behavioral therapy, it's a very good form of therapy that actually helps with coping mechanisms, because there's a lot of therapy where it's like, you go in there, and this is obviously a joke, but it looks to me like, it's like, why does like your dad like hate you, like, or like, why does your mom like, what's your mom like? Cognitive behavioral therapy is kind of like, all right, what issues are you dealing with? All right, so let's learn how to cope with those. So it's like kind of straight to the point. There's not a lot of beating around the bush, especially, in life, things are somewhat difficult to deal with because we've never gone through them. So, I've never lost a family member to cancer. I don't know what it would be like. But it's something that, cognitive behavioral therapy is a great start for coping mechanisms. Jose Tapia, have you ever tried meditating? Yeah, I meditate every day. Sometimes twice a day. And then when I put the meditation on, Silvio actually comes on the couch with me, and we meditate together and we nap together. Yeah, Josh, check out the cognitive behavioral therapy. It might be something that could help you a lot. How do I do it? I have a couple on YouTube. I like guided meditation for my naps, because every time I say nap, I yawn. For naps, because it calms me down and takes my brain off like intrusive thoughts, and I focus on what the guided meditation is. So it keeps me from getting sidetracked, because I have a very easily sidetracked brain. Yeah, I still don't understand why yawns are so contagious. It's a very odd thing. Fuck yeah, man. Meditation sounds cheesy, but it really works. Been meditating for around 2 years now. Found a huge bump in both my mental and physical health. Yeah, dude. It really does work. The mind is a very powerful thing, dude, and it's fucking scary how powerful it is. Um, one of those things where I think if people really took the time out, kind of learn the practice, and kind of engulf themselves in it and go, buy in, is very, very, very beneficial. And then I do like transcendental meditation, where I just sit there for 15 minutes with no music and just like go somewhere else. No, it's not like repeating things in your head. Meditation you're talking about? No, meditation, it's guided meditation. Sometimes if it's guided, it's easier because they're telling you like the landscape. 15 minutes is like, I don't think about anything. I've done it so much where I kind of just find like an inner mantra, and like I sit there for 15 minutes. I don't think about shit besides my breath. That's all I care about. I just focus on my breathing for 15 minutes, and my mind is blank. That takes a while to learn. Do you try to set small daily goals to help you as a coping mechanism? Yeah, I do. I fail a good amount of the time at them, but at least I try. I'm going to answer one more question. I was going to stop in an hour, but you guys have been great. I feel like I would just fall asleep, but I'll definitely try it out. Yeah, dude. I mean, do the guided meditations, especially for sleep. I can't believe this. For sleep, because, it helps you get to that next world, that sleep world. Skip me if you intrusive, but you thinking about a family soon. Also, you and Joe helped me through a dark time, unemployment with a 1-year-old, by laughing through it. Always in your and our solid now. Yeah. I'm 32. I would like a family. You hear that? Try sleeping. I gotta go, but I'll watch the rest of the morning. Thanks for your time. Always sharing with us. Can't wait for next Tuesday's podcast. Thank you. But listen, guys, I just want to say you guys are the best for coming on here and hanging out with me. You guys can get a chance to be on the show with me, and we could talk about your story if you go to patreon.com/OTCpod. Any tier, $5 tier if you want to be a crazy producer, $50 tier, or whatever. This is something that I want to be a safe space for everyone and people able to try and get their questions answered. And again, I am not a mental health professional, but if I can help you just get through the night, that's something for me. But you guys have been awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out. Please address your mental health the best way possible. If you have any other questions, you can DM me at Danny LoPriore on Instagram. I try to get to all of them. I do get a bunch. If I miss you, I'm sorry. And, I'm here for you guys. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. You guys are awesome, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Get some sleep. And, stay hot. That's all. Love you guys. Peace.